1. And we are live here with Real News. Heading into almost April now, and I mean, there's not a lot going on this week. I think from what I can remember, a Doge to the moon is trending on Twitter. And
Dude, you didn't see Biden?
oh yeah,
You
he
know, falling
fell.
off.
Yeah, took a
And then the
trip, stumble, and
Chinese, like,
fall.
you see the Chinese diplomat stuff too.
I didn't watch the video, but I heard it was very embarrassing.
Dude, they had like some person with like fucking purple hair and like someone else representing the US, and they basically were like, we're not concerned about the United States anymore. Like the Chinese person said that. And they were like using Democrat talking points against the United States. And it's like, yep, this is what you get for calling us like a shitty country.
Yeah, they didn't do that. Shit didn't happen under Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody made a meme of Biden going up Air Force One steps in one of those chair lifts.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's
Oh,
perfect.
God.
I
Yeah, the one
mean,
guy in our Discord posted a fucking link.
Oh
Or
yeah,
a
which
meme
guy
with that.
was
It was
that?
like after you eat the edibles or something.
Yeah. I just
yeah,
love how he doesn't trip just once. He like gets back up, trips again, and then again. I mean, that's just so bad. I understand one like little slip up was like whoop, whoop, whoop. Like again, he just couldn't get up. So bad.
Biden be
yeah,
tripping.
it's crazy because like Biden was he was at Atlanta to do one of his little bullshit PR things with the whole massage parlor shooting in Atlanta, and like um and Kamala Harris is like close to him pretty much at all times. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's ridiculous. Like she's like waiting for him to stumble so she could kind of pick up after him. Like it's bad. Like Biden, I don't know. It's so bad. Like you could tell that everything is kind of like everything is as staged as it could possibly be. Like it just feels like we're living in like the Hunger Games minus the actual Hunger Games. Like everything is just like fucking coordinated and all that shit. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet I bet I bet Hunter went down there to see if the massage parlor was still open now.
Dude, I was hearing stuff from Jack Max. He was talking about like what was on that laptop because he had access to the documents, and like
Uh-huh.
Hunter has so many videos of himself doing drugs and with women and or I should say prostitutes and other things.
There
It's
was
so
one where he's smoking crack and got a foot job from a prostitute in China or some shit like that.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
Like fuck it, I was like, damn. I mean, I like I if it was if it was any other person, it'd be like whatever. People have complicated lives, whatever. But it's like this is a this is the son of a vice president who's like basically compromising the entire everything. Um, whatever. I mean, we're at the point now where I feel like we're just fucked, but whatever.
Well, and the problem with that too is that he becomes compromised, and the Chinese use him as a backdoor to get to everything else. That's what's scary about it.
Oh, well, China. I mean, look, China pretty much owns our economy now. I mean, that's. I mean, that's they do bit like it's like our the globalist corporations want to do business in China so bad that they're just willing to compromise literally everything. And it's not and the scariest piece of the economic piece is the institutional investing. That is what really scares that's what really scares me because they own a lot. They have ownership stakes in a lot of these globalist corporations. So they could essentially like for example, I think they own like 80% of over 80%. Institutional investors own over 80% of Twitter. So like and they all do business in China. Like they all have Chinese investments. Like they all have Chinese investors and Chinese investments. You don't think that's you don't think that has some fucking serious leverage, right? If because like all it would take would be China to go, oh well, you know what, your shit here is our shit now,
Yeah.
and like you put like it's at such a big it's at such a compromising position, and these greedy fucks aren't going to stop uh trying to get that Chinese money. But you know, this is where we're at. This is where we're at, and it is a very scary time on the world stage right now.
Yeah, and China, you know, at the time when Trump was in office, they were doing everything they could to delay and procrastinate, basically hoping that he'd only be a one-term president and it would just be a blip. And that they're playing the long game, whereas we like to play the short game too often. And that's where we are today. And they're happy with Joe Biden. They love Joe Biden. He's lovely. He's their favorite American president because he's so progressive for China.
Well, he has leverage on them, or they have leverage on him.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. It's people that they can control. They like people that they can control, and they obviously can control Joe Biden. And I mean, well, they control the Democratic Party. They control like there's a lot. I mean, there's quite a few Republicans too. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's bad. It is really bad. I look at it and I have to be like, whenever I see somebody like an establishment Republican like trying to go the anti-Trump route, I always have to see like where, like who donates to these candidates, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's their past look like, you know? And that's one thing I have to look at, and it's like all these guys have taken money that have, you know, that's found its way to like either globalist corporations or Chinese companies or like anything directly. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's like these. It's not good. It doesn't look good.
Yeah. And you know what also doesn't look good is Andrew Cuomo is getting even more heat. I don't know if you guys saw, but his first accuser came out publicly and laid out a case against him with a lot of people there. And I'm starting to buy the Alex Jones theory on this, which is that Cuomo's becoming the sacrificial lamb, because right as the controversy about the nursing homes was really heating up. It was really reaching its peak, where there were investigations underway and there was a cover-up exposed. They throw this out there to basically kill a story with another story. And I think that's what's happening here. And so they're taking him out so that it can distract from all the rest of them. And all the other governors may be in on it to protect their skin. Because you notice the left is against Cuomo right now. Normally they kind of go, believe all women, but not when they accuse our people. But they're not saying that now. So you gotta look at, well, what's their motive? Why would they do that? Why are they all doing that? And that's why I think it is.
Well, he's the old guard. They want to get him out.
Well, I think other people want to get him out. Like AOC, they want to get him out and replace him. But I think the party at large wants to distract. Because why would it come out now?
Because now Trump's out. They can go and start worrying about their less progressive Democrats.
Yeah, that may be a part of it, but I think the bigger part is that the nursing home scandal was really, really getting bad because the FBI was investigating it, and there was a cover-up exposed. Like they had documents showing the people covered it up, and that didn't come out before.
Why do you think this didn't come out until after Trump was out of office, though?
Um, I mean, obviously you don't want that to come out during an election, but I think it could also be that maybe they didn't have it at the time. I don't know.
I think that it's political. They were worried about Trump, and now he's not there. They're looking inward.
Mm-hmm.
They're infighting the same way that the Republicans tend to, at least beforehand, you know, they were different. They would go in like back in 2000, whatever.
Well, I don't think it's infighting because every Democrat's against him.
Well, it's going. Well, the Democrats are going far left, like they are going far left, and Cuomo is still not that far left. Like he's corrupt. I mean, he's dirty. He's corrupt, but he's not far left. Um, you look at like for example, you look at when back when the BLM Antifa riots were happening. Um, he was they were going after like statues and stuff like that. They tried to go after a Christopher Columbus statue, and that's when Andrew Cuomo started pushing back. Right? Why? Because Christopher Columbus is a extremely important figure in the Italian American community. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that wasn't going to fly, and that definitely pushed some people on the left the wrong way. Like when he started pushing it, like they want the left is going far left, and they want people that are far left, and if they aren't far left, they want them gone. That's the direction that they're going in. And Cuomo, he's not far left, so they're going to want to get rid of him as soon as they possibly can.
I don't think that's the case here because I think the far left is using this to their advantage. But I think when you see that even the mainstream, normie, moderate leftists are ditching him out, and even spearheading this, I think there's a different motivation.
No, I think they're running scared. I think those
Of
are the.
what?
I think the moderates are running scared.
Well, they were pushing Cuomo for presidential candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And likely a lot of these moderates candidates probably have demons too. And yeah, it's they're going to start throwing people off the boat to save themselves. And Cuomo is right there for the taking. He's the low-hanging fruit.
I don't think he's the low hanging fruit. I think the lower hanging fruits are people like, um, is it Manchin that's in West Virginia? The
No,
Democrat?
he's powerful right now.
No, that he's got well, Joe Manchin's got leverage on him. Yeah, because he's that kind of he's that he's playing Joe Manchin's playing the leverage game. He's got a being that 50th that 50th vote in the Senate, that gives him an
That's right. He
incredible
is a senator. Yeah.
yeah, that gives him an incredible amount of leverage on Democrats. Like the Cuomo really doesn't really have the kind of leverage to the Democratic Party that somebody like Joe Manchin has.
Well, but Cuomo was very, very popular amongst Democrats, more so than Biden, because of his theatrical press conferences. He won an Emmy for that shit. An Emmy.
Yeah.
They loved him. Like, why
Yeah.
would they get rid of the guy they love?
They don't love him though, but
They do.
they always have a Democrat. You're always have a Democrat in New York. You're always gonna have that. Now West Virginia, it's actually pretty surprising there's a Democrat
It is
there,
surprising.
and that's why they're not gonna touch him. But someone like Cuomo, they can easily replace with another
Yeah.
for like
Well, I
even
mean,
farther left
But they don't
Democrat.
have anybody more popular than him. Until now, of course. Now he's unpopular, but he was arguably the most popular Democrat. More
well,
popular than
not
Joe
only that,
Biden.
well, you got to figure. Well, you got to figure that's that's generational power too. Like he's got generational power because his dad was governor. I think his dad was governor too. His family is like in the political scene. Like there's a lot tied to that family, and so that part is always tends to be attractive to any politician. But like when you have a couple of these allegations that are coming forward, it's like not only that you his, you have Chris Cuomo, who had his own fucking allegations against him. So it's like what is this, a fucking family affair or some shit? Like what the fuck?
It runs in the family.
Yeah, like you know,
I think it's more in the nursing
it's
home
not
thing
looking good.
because even on Twitter 9 hours ago, Daily Mail, FBI investigating whether Cuomo aides lied to Justice Department about the number of deaths at state nursing homes. I feel like that nursing home thing is a massive scandal, and they don't want to tarnish their, oh, we're the side of safety and security, and we saved people from COVID, whereas Trump
They
killed 1 million people.
they could have, dude. They could have easily fucking hid that under the rug. Like, look at PA. We had the same exact shit happen here.
Yeah, I
And no one's
know.
talking.
Well, I think the thing I think is, and this is my speculation, so
Well, the numbers were nowhere near as bad as New
yes,
York.
that's
New
what I was gonna
York
say.
was like
Yep.
New York was like the epicenter, basically the epicenter of the world for COVID cases and deaths for a long
Yes.
period of time.
Yep. Exactly. And New York was the worst, and the other governors don't want to go down with it. So it's like, let's take out Cuomo. And you could actually call it infighting now the more I'm thinking about it. It's like strategic infighting, where they're like, okay, we'll take out Cuomo boy. It's going to be a heavy hit because, we do like him. He could have been presidential candidate, but we all don't want to go down with him because we all did the same thing. Not as bad, but we don't want to go down with that. So let's throw that out there while the FBI is investigating our nursing home deaths and the story gets buried, even if bad stuff comes out, and it's all on him still. So I
It'll
think
blow
that's the
over.
play.
It'll blow over.
Well, everything
I
blows
think
over, but it's not going to blow over quick. Like this Cuomo thing
No,
won't stop.
I mean I don't think it'll blow over quick, but yeah, it'll blow over. Like I not only that because he's not gonna resign. He's not gonna resign. He's
Well, the
not. They're not
longer
gonna
he
find.
doesn't resign, the longer this is going to go.
Nah, I mean
Well,
it'll blow.
who's supposed to take over if he resigns, or
Well, they'd
who's
have an
running
election,
it?
I think.
Well, who do you think's gonna run?
I don't think
Probably
any.
some,
Well, Andrew Yang's already running, but I don't think they're going to
Well,
let
is
him
he running
win.
for governor or is he running for mayor
Oh, wait,
of
he's
New York
mayor. That's
City?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all, De Blasio, Cuomo, you know.
Well, he's not like De Blasio is like the fucking
Bleh.
hard left. Like
Yeah.
like he's like on to the point where he could probably see Chairman G producing shit. Like he is very far left,
Yeah.
insanely far left, and then yeah, because I don't think Cuomo's not. Again, he's not far. He's not far left. He's left, but he's left. He's corrupt as fuck, but he's not far left.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. That's what's interesting is still seeing that rift, because what's very interesting too is in 16 the Bernie bros were all like, we would have won if you didn't rig it against our candidate, your establishment candidate lost. And then in 2020 the Democrats are like, aha, well look, Bernie lost and our establishment Joe Biden won, so we're right. It's kind of like they're flipping the script on those people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, China basically aided it, but well, whatever.
China really was the winner in the election.
Yes.
Or do we want to talk about that, like that interview or whatever that was, the thing with the Chinese diplomat?
Yeah, give me the red pill on that, the TLDR, I mean.
I was just listening to, I haven't actually seen the whole thing. I was just listening to the Hungarian guy on the fucking radio.
Oh, Gorka.
Yeah, he had he was talking about that, and like apparently there was some like fucking like super like fucking pink-haired like ambassador or something to China
Yes.
and like someone else, and like it made the United States look like fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know, you're coming over here looking like a clown, and then you have like this other guy, like, what was this, like the good cop, bad cop thing, but like instead of good cop, bad cop, it's like, you know, semi normal cop with like some like clown, like like a court gesture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fucking nuts. And apparently, like they were saying that like I think China said that like, oh, you know, you guys admit that the United States is a you know, it's like a racist country, and it's like, you know, they're horrible. We agree. And like Russia was just like, and like Russia too was just like walking all over the fucking Biden government. It's like, yeah, like I think Putin actually challenged him to a fucking debate.
Yeah. That was funny.
I'd love to see that. I'd pay.
Yeah.
That'd be pay per view.
Oh my god, I'd
Well, that
pay
was
a lot.
yeah, the Putin thing, that was in response. I think like Biden called Putin a killer, and
Like,
He's like, you gotta
Putin
be one to know one or
yeah,
something.
it takes one to know one. And he's like, yeah, like here, how about this? Let's debate. Let's debate, but but it has to be a live uninterrupted debate. Like cuz he knows that Joe Biden's a fucking, you know, he's basically a mental vegetable. Like so he's like, yeah, we can have I would love to debate him. I would love to have a chat with him, but let it be live, let it be transparent, and let it be, you know, in front of, you know,
dude,
in front of an
here's the
audience.
issue. Do it pay per view and do it so that like the fucking money will go pay off these fucking stimulus payments. The money
Yes.
earned pay per view.
Yes. The other thing that's interesting too with the Putin thing is that, you know, you can see the shifting attitudes from when Trump was in office, but, you know, Putin does a really good job, you have to admit. For a guy that does a lot of dirty things, he can make himself freaking entertaining. Shirtless horseback riding, hunting, and now debate me, bruh. I mean, you gotta admit, he puts on a good show. He does. I respect anyone who puts on a good show.
He's a showman, like, you know. And then like, what? Who do we have? Like then fucking like buying the staircase man, just falling on down. You know, just like this decrepit old man as the fucking president. Like he is a beta male. He is a beta male. You know, because
Oh,
like,
he
look,
is
he was
cocked.
getting his like ass kicked in the debates. The only reason he won is because he, you know, I'm not gonna say because they're on YouTube. But
It was borrowed because the election was borrowed. You're allowed to say that.
are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, Elijah Schaefer says that all the time because he says it's the only thing you're allowed to get away with.
Yeah.
Certain people borrowed certain things.
Yeah, something. You know.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that I was gonna talk about, I think I put in the title, didn't I? Or maybe we already talked about it. Or was that last week? No, that was not last week. Did you see that Milo's opening up a conversion therapy center in Florida?
Mm.
Funny as shit.
I will say though, I'm worried for his sake because I think that's gonna, while I think it's funny and it's gonna really piss off the left, and I can't wait to see the video tours of people when they go into that place. The thing I'm worried about for his sake is lawsuits.
Apparently, I think it's legal in Florida.
It's legal in parts of Florida, I think. I saw a map recently, and like there are literally, I think 20 states have banned it, but in Florida, there's like certain parts where you can't do it or something. But I would assume he's not gonna have any of the bzz, bzz, you know, sparky electroshock style therapy, and nothing where kids can come in and do it. But a fully consenting adult, I mean, I don't see why they can't go into those. And my body, my choice, right? You know.
Yeah, if you're an adult, I don't see, and you want to go make a change for your life, I don't see how. Like, I think that you can make a First Amendment case against that.
Well, if you
Like,
can
if they
already
try to
chop
make
your
that
dick
legal.
off, I mean, why can't you go into a place where they like talk the gay out of you.
If you can convert into a female, you should be able to convert into not
Straight.
gay if it's your choice.
Yes. If you
I
can
like
convert.
honestly, I don't see that. I don't see how that would be illegal for an adult. Now for kids, that's a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, kids
It's
should
like,
not be allowed into that shit at all. It's the same stuff with the trans people. Like, they don't know what they're doing. They're kids. They
well,
can't
here's the
consent.
thing. Like, what is conversion therapy? Like,
Good
I don't know. 'Cause I
question.
keep hearing different. Like, I hear stuff and I hear the left talk about it. It makes me really wonder. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's what this whole thing has really made me think about. Is like, what is it? Like, nobody defines it. They throw the term around, and it's like, well, what is it? From what I understand, we'll look at it now. When people hear conversion therapy, they think of bzz, bzz, Uncle Mike, bzz, Darth Sidious, electrocution. But that, I think, is only one of the practices of conversion therapy that's been done in places. I think it's mostly like a psychologist style therapist that tries to talk the gay out of you and do exercises to reduce your tendencies and your, impulses to do things like that. But there's supposedly no science that backs it up. So take that for what you will. There's a lot of
Well,
religious people
like,
involved.
if it's just if it's just talk therapy, I really don't see the problem with that. I can agree with shock therapy. You shouldn't be shocking gay people, but like if they want to go and change, I think like honestly, I don't see the problem with just talk therapy in general. Like what is the problem with that?
Yeah, the only problem I have with talk therapy is that can be a scam, where they keep you sick like big pharma and they don't really fix you. That's the only thing I could see being a problem. Not saying it
Yeah.
is that way, but that's the only potential problem I could see. But other than that, but that's how all psychological therapy kind of is. I know there's a lot more to it, but that's a component of it.
Yeah, like I think you should be able to get like if you think you can find something that you know can help because there's people that say it works, there's people that say it doesn't. Like what other option are you gonna have if you want to go and not be gay? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like do the same shit I guess that like AA does. I don't know. Like I mean I've never been to AA, so I don't know what the fuck they do, but they obviously do something
They
there.
sit in a circle and they talk about their feelings.
You could do that with like sitting in a circle, talk about your feelings of homosexuality the last time, or they give you like a little badge. It was like I haven't had gay sex, and like what was it like? They gave like a sponsor.
That'd be funny, actually.
Like, see, I don't think that would be a necessarily bad thing. I mean, it'd be fucking funny. I don't know how effective it would be, but as long as you're not shocking people, I don't really see the problem.
Yeah, I don't
If you're
either.
doing like if you're doing cringe shit like wearing like a little hey, I didn't have sex with a man in like a week, go for it.
Sigmund Freud stated that homosexuality could sometimes be removed through hypnotic suggestion and was
Hypnosis?
influenced by Eugene Steinach of Venice. I think I'm saying that
Venice?
right. Yeah, it looks like it's people from Venice. Endocrinologist who transplanted testes from straight men into gay men in an attempt to change their sexual orientation. Whoa.
Oh, there you go.
Or it is a little bit of a interesting character.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like the one with the some of the incest.
When
That
I
was the Freud and the cigar.
He had the Oedipus theory, iceberg theory, things like the Oedipus complex technically.
when I snap my when I snap my fingers, you will wake and no longer want dirty cock.
Oh yes.
Oh, where was I? What happened?
That I wonder honestly if like I wonder if like they literally do shit like that, where like they kind of like talk them into like a trance, and like that's like the some places form of conversion therapy is like, oh, you think that sexy man over there is real sexy? Well, guess what? He ain't. He's got stain. He's got scars. He's got blood clot. He's got pimples. He's got grease and goo coming out of many places, and they try to like make it dirty, and then they're like, oh, then here's the sexy hot female.
Here's
I'm
the
all
thing,
for
though,
the.
too, like if there's what if there's a place that had like it like the opposite of convert, like the exact opposite. So trying to convert you into a straight, they had a fucking gay conversion. Like I could see someone trying to do that in the future.
That's what Milo should have done, because then they could not have
No,
argued against it.
no, we have enough of that. It's called watching fucking like
Netflix.
half of Netflix. It'll turn you gay.
Yeah, I know.
It's like My Little Pony. It's like conversion.
They
therapy.
tried paddling them, but they ended up enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I always like to tell people, because people, straight people, love to quickly say, like, oh, you can't, if you're gay, you can't, stop being gay. And I'm like, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, we all need to remember we don't know really why people are gay. We really don't know. We have some guesses and theories, but we really don't know. And we really don't know if it can be changed. My personal belief is I bet it can be suppressed, and you can, maybe if you work hard enough, not do certain behaviors, but I think it will still always live inside you, no matter how much like you fight it.
I feel
I don't
like
know, 'cause, like there's a lot of people who become gay because of some
Traumatic
you know
experience at a young age, yep.
yeah. So it makes you really wonder, like.
But when you're young, you're way more malleable, and you're developing.
I feel
Yeah,
like
they might undo it then. I don't know. I think there might be a way to go and undo it. Maybe if you maybe we could use psychedelic therapy.
I feel like physiologically, people can be like more masculine or feminine,
Right.
but I think the rest is psychological, or it's like experience oriented. Like you know you have an experience with another dude or something like that, and it's like, oh, some people but like it's not like you are gay. It's like, no, you're and some people are like, you're into drugs, and like if you taking Molly or some shit like that, and you just want to hump something, you don't give a shit what it is. Hey, maybe you enjoy dudes all of a sudden. All right, maybe there's not a whole lot of women that'll let you hump them, but then there's dudes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, if you're just like butt ugly too, like you're
Yeah,
homosexual,
there's
you're
a whole
homosexual.
lot. There's an endless amount of possibilities that can lead to why somebody makes the decisions that they make or whatever. It's not like, I don't know. It's personal choice. I don't know. Fuck.
Could you could you go and make the case then that like maybe homosexuality is a syndrome?
Down with the syndrome.
I mean,
I
can you make
mean,
that argument? I mean, like a scientific argument, because like it seems like there's a lot of things that could lead up to it. It's like we don't know what causes like autism, you know, but or like depression. Like I was listening to that one Joe Rogan with the like drug guy. It was like a few weeks ago. It's like depression. Like we call depression this sort of thing, but it's really a syndrome because we don't know there might be multiple ways people become depressed, multiple different types of depression, but we don't
yeah,
know.
That's
Maybe
true.
homosexual, like, and that's you can make that argument, and that's not saying that's negatively on someone, but it does seem like because there's some people who might just be predisposed, like they're just naturally gay, and then there's other people who were impacted at a young age and became homosexual. Like, see, you see all these people who were, like, look at Milo himself. Look at a lot of people who were molested at a young age, and then
hmm
they became gay after that,
Mm-hmm.
due to some psychological damage. And
uh-huh.
I think if you can like become something after something, I think you can undo it somehow. It probably won't be. It might not be as easy,
What
but
if
I
it's a
think there's a
permanent
way.
scar, though?
I don't know if it is.
And that's the thing that I think, even this may seem like to people listening like an irrelevant issue, irrelevant topic. I think it's one of those things that is still going to be explored for, well, hopefully it'll still be explored for years so we find an answer. But it feels like people stopped asking questions and just accepted things. That, oh, you're just born this way. And I believe personally it's a combination of nature and nurture. But I think obviously that can deviate how much it is for somebody. But I do believe too that whatever happens to you, there's like certain people that are more predisposed. I keep screwing that word up. Predisposed to have homosexual tendencies. And I think some people might have it just like a tiny bit, and they'll be like, "Oh, he's cute," but you don't want to like smash him right then and there. And then there are other people that maybe they go through a phase, and then there may be other people that like it just doesn't leave them. I don't know.
You remember that one girl? It was like from the Die Cis Scum girl. She's not gay anymore. She apparently straightened up her act.
Well, there are people that like ex-gay. Milo didn't invent ex-gay. Like that's actually been a thing. Now, do you believe those people? That's up to you to decide. But there are people that claim they're ex-gay.
Well, yeah, but see them big gay. They'll say that they weren't ever actually gay. They were bisexual. It's like you're just invalidating that person's experience at that point. Because I think there are people like legitimately ex-homosexual. I think that can happen. Like we don't like I don't think anyone really knows what this is, and I think there's multiple different types of homosexuality. They already have 1,000,001 different genders, but I think that like there is multiple different you know homosexualities that exist. I think that there's like an acute homosexuality. There's like a traumatic homosexuality. I think that there's a like look at like Chris Chan. It's like depressive homosexuality. It's caused by literally not having any options with females other than prostitutes.
Yeah.
He's like honestly I'd say he had depressive transgenderism. But I think it can happen.
Well, yeah, especially with depression, because depression can totally change a person, totally make them like completely different and make them think crazy things. So I've always what's always resonated with me is a quote. Oh God, guess who's here with his vacuum? Oh, you have your vacuum.
Boy, he's doing the vacuum now.
Yeah, 10:30 at night. I'm talking to my friend Scott.
What's his name?
I can't say.
Scott, we're on the internet.
We're on the interwebs, damn it.
Stalks me again.
We're on the daggum internets, dadgummit.
Okay, I unmuted. I had my audio muted so that didn't go out. I was prepared. But what I was going to say, so I got interrupted, was one quote that resonates with me was from the show Broadchurch, where they're like investigating crimes, and the one dude says that people are capable of anything given the right circumstances. And when you think of things that way, things make a lot more sense.
Opportunity makes a thief.
Well, yeah, like look at the dudes in the prison. There's a lot of people that have gay sex in there, but that doesn't make them. I don't think they're permanently homosexual, and they're not necessarily bisexual at that point. It's I don't know. Is bisexuality really sexuality, or is it like do we really have all these fucking bullshit sexualities, or is it just like maybe we have this homosexuality factor?
I think there's just
it infects, and like it just sort of like it's a separate factor.
Well, do you think lesbians are real?
I think it's like certain levels of homosexuality. It become there's a lot of reasons, like maybe they were messed up by men, same way that some men become gay because they had bad experiences with women. Where they hate like some gay people like just straight up. They don't talk about this very much from the LGBT community. Like they legitimately hate women, and that's why they're gay. Like I've seen, it was like one of those like 8 people. His name was like.
I mean, I hate women, and I'm not gay.
Well, no, like there's a name of this one guy who's on YouTube. I don't know if it was like Monkey or something, or like Ape, or like Naked Ape, I think. And he was like gay, and he's like, yeah, I'm gay because I hate women. But I'm like, well, that would actually make sense. Like for certain, like I can see that. You know,
I
as a
mean,
certain level, like, if you legitimately hate women to the extent that you don't want to have sex with them, I think like, and that's a different gay than you, because a lot of gay
mm,
people love talking to them because they feel like
I
women.
mean, I don't know. It's like because you got because I mean you got a lot of married couples that fucking hate women, married dudes that hate women now. Like it doesn't mean they're gay.
Well, no, no,
And
no.
it's
I
just
think that
like
there is a type of gay that does that though, and it's different than the same type of gay that will go to like become a drag queen or whatever. It might
it's
be like
like
on the more like some like you're so masculine. It's like the fucking Greeks. They're so masculine.
I think everybody has that old dude that's like, don't ever get married. It's the end of your life. God damn it. Do not put a ring on that fucking finger.
Well, no, I'm not saying that everyone's like gay who does that. I'm not saying that you
Yeah.
most people that do that, but I think that is a like I think there is a group of homosexuals that are homosexual because they legitimately are disgusted by women.
How could you be disgusted? Well, okay. I was gonna say I've been at college. I can see how you could be disgusted,
Have
but
you heard him talk?
Oh my god, like
Oh my God, you could easily get this guy.
well, see,
If
I'm
somebody says
thinking.
something, did you watch the last Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Like, bye. Fucking bye. That's it. It's over. I never want to see you again.
But when you're
Ever.
looking at them,
I don't even want to see you in the next life, fucker.
I can understand. But let's say you put on some hearing protection, and you're just looking at them. And they're good looking. Let's make sure we have that in there. Can you be disgusted with them? Can you
no,
actually?
well, I'm not gay. That's the thing. I'm not gay. But I
Even
think
but
like
they
it's
like
I
them.
think you get that old fashioned like I mean not old fat like really like ancient like fucking
Ancient.
Greek homosexual that is so masculine that the idea of even being around the feminine disgusts them. And I think that there is a certain like not all gay people do this, but there and probably not most. It's probably a minority of the homosexuals that do that.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about gays I've always found interesting is because I had a gay roommate. I've had gay friends. I've been around them. I've seen some things that you wouldn't believe, or maybe you would. um, but why is it that when I have some theories, but why is it that a lot of their friends are women?
It's because they both like getting dick.
True, but they like see you because I'm trying to feel this out here. Like, you say they're disgusted by women or some
No,
of
no,
them.
I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying I think that's a specific
Oh,
type
you
of
think it's a
homosexual.
type? Do
I
those
think
do
there's
those hang
multiple
out with
different
the women?
types.
Do those hang out with women?
Mo- Most gay people do, but I think that there's this like rare type because I've seen it before. It's like your biker, like bear homosexual, like this ultra masculine one. Even more, so masculine that he like takes a dick up his ass.
It's you're so Chad that you're gay.
Yeah, it's like the fuck, like he's probably on the top, so he doesn't even take it up his ass. He just fucks someone else in the ass.
Mm.
It's like it's like that horseshoe theory.
Oh God, the horseshoe theory with sexualities. Now that's something. That's something else. I'm a strong believer in the horseshoe theory. Like I remember when I first came out, people were like, "Oh, horseshoe theory, you're so stupid." No, that shit's real. That shit is the realest thing ever.
Oh God.
And I think you're proving it again. Actually, you made a valid point in a strange way, but yeah, I just think it's so interesting, and there's a motive behind. I bet that we just kind of put the whole science behind homosexuality to bed so quickly.
See,
We're
I think that like big gays, like they
okay.
they have like the sort of cosmopolitan gay lobby. They want one type of sort of effeminate homosexual to exist, but in reality, there's a number of invisible. Oh gosh, that's so fucking stupid. Invisible homosexualities that do exist. They're not all these like gay people running around with like twirling dildos in a gay pride parade with like like a dildo on his like asshole and the fucking like
Don't
cock.
tease me with a good time.
Oh.
Like I think that there, you get your like fucking super masculine one that's like, yeah, I'm gay because you know, there's nothing more straight than like not being around anything feminine at all, including women.
Is that what the frat boys say?
I mean, that this would be like the ultra frat boy. This would be so fucking straight that he's gay.
Well, see, that's another
So
category here. Look at the
masculine
frat.
that he's homosexual.
What was that?
Yeah, that's true too. Frat boys. Yeah, no, that's a because like I think that they use the like they do that gay shit to go and like bond. Like it is like they did like because look Greek. It's Greek, and guess what the Greeks did? They did some gay shit over there too, and that's probably why they do it.
Is it a bonding thing that comes from like a group thing, cult like mentality, or is it a way to compromise people and to hold dirt over their head?
I think it might be both.
Because I
I
bet
think
I
it's
bet some maybe it starts off as one or the other and it becomes a bonding thing. It starts off with leverage to compromise people to have leverage down the road to keep them, keep the because remember like the frats are pretty secretive and if you have that stuff on people you can keep a secret really well. Be like, oh, you tell that secret. Well, look what I have here. But then I think it might become that they do it so often that it becomes like that they like it, like they get to a point where they enjoy it. I don't know.
well,
I
see,
find these
we'd have to get our
psychologists so
fucking
strange.
resident frat boy over here.
A resident frat boy with a resident psychologist.
Yes, yes, love to see that.
We should actually. Man, I wish we had the radio because we could have been on there. Could
Dude,
have
we would
gotten
get kicked
callers.
off so quick.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd have someone calling from like, nah, we couldn't do that. They'd be like, I know what frat you're in, bitch. And we're gonna go and like, yeah, they'd be pretty pissed.
Well, yeah. What if we got like a frat boy calling? He's like, yeah, man. Well, back when I was in a frat, we did this and that. I don't know what's like now.
See, I think that like I don't know because I think some of it's just like perversion down the line. It didn't start out this stupid. Like it was something, funny and like oh, we'll drink a bunch of stuff and like, we do this and then it slowly morphs into like a fucking elephant walk. It didn't start out like that gay, but there's like, we did this thing. Let's make it do something even more.
Eat the dog shit, pledge.
It starts off with just like ass slaps, and then real quickly it accelerates to thumbs up the ass and like, gangbang. How
Well, yeah, see, probably start out with like paddling while you had pants on. Then it's like, oh, let's go and take the pants off, make you paddling. Oh, that would hurt. Oh, what would be more nasty? Like, what if we just show our thumb up there?
what if we
Yeah,
just shoves up something even bigger up there?
Well, that's no, like after a thumb, like
Why
be
is
more disgusting.
why is this thumb large with veins? What the
Make another guy put their thumb in their mouth after he shoved up the guy's ass. Let's make him do a human centipede fucking walk with it too. Oh yeah, and if they do that, like, see, it just keeps going down this like Congo line of like more perverse.
Congo line.
Eventually, like it'll start like well, just like the dick in the ass. Like, what they have to do that? Like 20 years from now, because it gets more and more gay. It's like, then they just fucking have a gay orgy, and that's how you get into the frat.
See that's what's really confusing because I've googled this many times because I still
I bet you have, buddy.
not the
You
part
set
you're
yourself up
thinking
for that
of.
one.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I deserve every little stone thrown at me for that one. But I still don't understand the psychology of these frats. Like, there's always these theories that float around. There's people that think they know what they're talking about, but like, I really would love to be a fly on the wall, see it going down, know everything it's going to really understand. Because I figure that's the only way I would be able to. Because it just is so bizarre to me that people not only do it but people submit to it. And I think the submission comes from like the need to belong and the groupthink that kicks in. It's kind of mob mentality to a bit of it. Even then, it still doesn't fully click with me. I don't know.
Well, I think it's one of those things. You have to kind of deal with that. And you're this impressionable freshman. It's like, oh yeah, it's like they see these movies like Animal House, and it's like, oh, You know, it'd be awesome being a frat like that. You know, yeah,
Yeah. 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 It's strange. Very strange. And then there's like the secret societies on top of that. It's like there's layers to it. It's like an onion, Shrek. There are layers.
yeah. Nah, dude, that's what that is. Like, man, we need to we need to go and get a fucking frat guy on here. You know,
Yeah,
get
frats
multiple.
exposed.
You get someone like some nutty fucking frat too. And cause like I wonder like so I don't I have a feeling that these weren't like what they were back. Oh, I want to get some from a sorority too because I bet that's real fucking
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Like I know like they just do like slutty shit.
And they're very mean, nasty things too that they do.
Oh yeah, like I was reading this one they made these like sorority girls watch lesbian porn and they put a you know wait they made like sit naked on a paper towel and if they were getting wet from the lesbian porn they were kicked out.
Oh god.
It's like the most like gay like anti-gay thing. It'd be like a frat put like a fucking what you call it like a fan over your penis and made you watch like made you go naked and like watch gay porn.
Yeah,
You know.
it's just the other thing too is I mean I wonder what type of person goes into these and what type of person comes out of these. Like, how does it change them? Because, funny enough, who was in a sorority? Meghan Markle. And she wasn't in an African American or, person of color or black heritage, whatever, sorority. She was in a typical, I think it was a business sorority. And look how she turned out. Very nice.
Do you think that do you think that those like African American fraternities and sororities and all that shit like really what the fuck do they even do?
I wonder. I don't know. I've seen them before. Like when there was one of those protests at Penn State over something, like at the Allen Street gates. I remember a bunch of them showed because they all had their uniforms on. It was scary because I was like there's just like a huge swarm of these people came like with identical uniforms, and it's like this is
Like the Black
weird.
Panthers show up.
Wakanda. It's just like I don't know. It's like when I see the sorority girls run around with like these identical clothes. I'm just like in like mass. It's just like it's so weird to me. It feels so weird. But yeah,
It
that's
should because it's fucking weird. You know,
yeah.
these people like they all try to be the same. It's like, oh, we're all the same. We're all brothers and sisters, and
Why do you
it's like a
want to be
fucking
the
cult.
same? It's weird.
It's a fucking cult.
Yep.
I mean, it kind of is. I mean, they use similar tactics. You know, cults act similar. Like, you know, what's the difference between a fraternity and a cult?
Nothing. They are cults.
The only difference is, you know, one's recognized by your fucking college.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
It's
I'm
like
not. I was never in a frat, so I don't
it's a
know. Like, I mean, it's.
recognized cult.
I think they run off the same sort of mechanism, though, the sort of sense of belonging.
Yeah.
I don't think all frats are bad. I don't think you know, and I think all cults are bad, but all frats, I don't know. I think there's potential for goodness out of there, but I just think it's fucking being missed. If
Dude,
people
this
rather just what?
I was gonna say this picture I pulled up is like the frattiest of frat pictures ever, and the headline is very typical too. Like what the hell?
See, like it looks like see being like a group of people like that looks fun. That looks fucking fun to me. Like
No,
see a
I
dude with
bet
the
they
fucking
can be.
Burger
That's
King.
that's the thing. I
Like it
don't want
looks.
to like sound like I'm lagging on or slacking on is that I bet they're a lot of fun for people. I bet they can be, and I think they have an important purpose. And I think we need more male friendly spaces. But there are some problems that come with it, as you can see. Oh God, they posted on Instagram that picture with the caption, "She want a gangsta, not a pretty boy." Oh God. But there was something else I was thinking. Oh, because I was talking about exposés. We received some DMs. I won't say the name, but from a source with some updates for us on the Yao 2 scandal. To give a different perspective. Because we had a guest on last week, 2 weeks ago, giving his perspective and stories he's heard about or things that he claims he saw. And we had somebody give us a little different take on things. What do we think of that? I don't want to dive too deeply into it, but he basically said that our last guest was pretty much wrong on everything. What do we think?
That's interesting.
It is. It's very interesting. We're going to have to do a deep dive into it. Because, I mean, I was reading through the stuff that he sent, and he was, let me look at the stuff. Yeah, he was saying that there was some, more beefs going on, and that, I will say this, the one thing that was weird that stood out to me, though, about this person claims that, after the incident that our guy last time had in the kitchen of an Airbnb, where he was accused of pleasuring himself in a kitchen there, that he was fired or rehired, and he claims it didn't happen. But this person says that Justin Grice hired him back as a punishment to one of our election directors for losing a company credit card. That's a weird way to punish somebody for something like that.
Yeah, that it is.
Yeah. Hopefully we can have this person on. We'll see. He didn't answer my question when I asked him if you want to come on, but we shall see. But I really don't have much to talk about this week. Do you guys have anything else or anything interesting?
I can't really think of much else other than what we already sort of went over,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll look for some stuff that we can talk about, but those are the main things I wanted to hit on. I'm still looking at frat pictures. Oh, God. Leaked audio of disgrace Dems threat will make your skin crawl as Cuomo allegations get worse. Yo, what's this? Oh, did we hear about a Teen Vogue staffer who got canceled?
Well, what happened now?
So cancel culture took a turn the other direction. And I think she sent some tweets out in the past where she used the N-word and said a bunch of other things about gays, I think.
Huh, that's interesting.
It is. Yeah, looks like her pretty looks didn't get her a pass on that one. I'll post in the news section for you guys to check out.
Why? Yeah. What was the context? I'm curious. Like, I don't even care about personally, but I'm interested in what she claims the context is for this.
Here are the tweets. I have not been able to find them before, but I finally did. She said, this is back in 2010. I think she said the slang version of the N-word and said, I miss yo ass, to Jake Levin, and then said it again and said, you owe me a nap. I love the contradictory nature of the phrase white. And you know what word comes next?
The Sargon. We use a Sargon phrase.
Sargon word. Yes, Sargon did say that. Yeah. See, I don't understand why people would use the word like that, because it's going to get you in trouble. But if you have nothing to lose,
back in 2010 too. Those were different times.
That's true. 2010 Twitter too was a very different time.
Yeah, I mean that's so fucking stupid.
And it looks like to me she didn't use it with bad intent. But I have to say, you guys are getting what you gave other people. What goes around is coming around.
Fuck, what the fuck's happening to him?
Something happening to your Poonscape?
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened to my fucking food. Oh, man, well, I just wasted that. God damn it.
A New York Times podcast on Friday revealed audio of a 2018 telephone conversation where Andrew Cuomo threatened to compare a progressive leader to a child rapist because he wasn't happy with the group's tepid political endorsement of him. Wow. So somebody didn't endorse him strongly enough, and so he wanted to call him a child rapist. What the fuck?
Fucking peak New York.
Yeah. You're a child rapist, you know? Oh, man, that's pretty bad. If you ever say, well, he's better than a Republican again, then I'm going to say, you're better than a child rapist. How about that? Cuomo's heard telling Lipton on the call. Dude, that's not...
Republicans, child rapists, fuck off.
Yeah.
Especially your party that's advocating for child rape.
And has many in it, like, you know, countless names. Like, oh, did you see the dude that started Drag Queen Story Hour was busted for kiddie porn?
Oh, I saw that. That was
a big shocker.
Yeah.
Like, it was... You ever see that old thing? It was like the first... Like, there was a news article. It was like, first Australian, you know, husband and wife, or husband and husband, like, who adopted a child. It's so progressive. And then, like, a week later, you see the same exact picture, but then the kid's face is blurred out. It's like, you know, fucking the same people were caught, like, putting the child in a child sex ring. And it's like, huh, it's real surprising.
Well, you notice too, this is very funny. Like, if you see my screen here, you can see this. So there's a Fox News article comes up first on Google, and it says judge who headed oh god, that's fucked up. Headed Drag Queen Story Hour sponsor arrests on child porn charges. And then the following story is from Snopes, and it says no Drag Queen Story Hour leader wasn't arrested on child porn charges. There's literally an article right in front of it that says it was.
All right, let's see what does Snopes have to say. What are they having a problem with?
Oh, let's see. Let's see. Oh, they're saying it wasn't the guy that's the head of the organization.
Oh, it was just someone who's in there, you know.
I think well, wasn't this the guy that started it? Started Drag Queen Story Hour? It was one that was arrested on child porn stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
What is Drag Queen Story Hour? Oh god, I don't want to read that.
Yeah, it shouldn't exist. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, did he put it on his LinkedIn?
I would not put that on my LinkedIn.
For my extracurricular activities, I run the story time.
Oh god. We just read stories to kids with fancy clothes.
While I accessorize.
They claim he never held a position in the Drag Queen Story Hour national organization, which I didn't know they had an organization, but man, they're organized.
Why do we need that? Why is that a thing? Like, why do they need to be teaching giving stories to kids? Like, you see the one, it literally looks like a fucking, like, demon with horns.
Yeah, that's the one that always goes around. Yep.
God, that's like, I don't want kids to see that shit. Like, I don't even want to see that shit. If I was a kid and I saw a fucking demon at the library trying to go and tell me a story, speaking in this effeminate voice, like, it looks like you remember, like, the Powerpuff Girls? We had that, like, one, like, Satan creature.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like, you know.
It reminds me also of those. Remember in Pokemon, those two, like, the guy and the girl, they were always the bad guys.
Jesse and James.
Yeah, if that's what they were named. Yeah, reminds me of that. Like those sort of people, just like those freaks come in, like popping in again. Like, oh, we're gonna tell you a story, kids. It's so weird. It's just weird. And then parents let this happen. They're like, "Oh, this is progressive."
Jeez, I'm very happy my parents did not think that was a smart idea to. Well, I'm glad this didn't exist when I was a kid. You know.
Oh God, listen to this. So, according to Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, he's accused of uploading 27 videos and pictures of child sexual abuse to messaging app Kick under the name Dom Master BB.
God, these people need to be, have bad things happen legally.
He's
Like,
looking
see,
at
I think there's a case of this.
If he goes to jail, it'll happen.
he's looking at a minimum of 21 years in
Guaranteed.
prison. So this is,
Yeah.
and even Snopes acknowledges this too. He was the former president of the Cream City Foundation, an LGBTQ advocacy group in Wisconsin that advertise Drag Queen Story Hour. Oh, they have an acronym for that. DQSH. Events it sponsors, as well as a husband with adoptive father of 2 children. He listed his presidency within the Cream City Foundation.
See, why do they need to be adopting kids still? I don't know. Like, is it just enough for them to like be able to get married? Like that's my biggest thing. It's like, oh, we want to be able to get married, and then it's like, oh, it's not just get married; it's adopt kids, and then do this, and then do that, and then within 4 years, you have drag queens, at the story time with children. And if you have a problem with that, there's a problem that you're the problem. It's like, man, can we just like take a step back and like, go back to like the fucking 90s? I think things were, in some ways, like at least with that shit, it was better. We didn't have to worry about no fucking pedophile gangs. And it's like, do we have the same pedophile gangs back then, or is it just like we see it now?
Well, I do know that crime overall is basically at record lows. I don't know about pedophilia, but I have a hunch that pedophilia is on the rise.
I imagine child porn didn't it existed back then, but it was like,
it was harder to get.
Yeah, it wasn't on the internet. Because the internet didn't really fucking exist.
Drag Queen Story Hour is an organization dedicated to creating safe, inclusive spaces for children and their families. Where? Why is that a thing? Like, who thought to combine those together? We're like, what if we took drag queens and had them read stories to children in schools? What could go wrong? Like, why was that ever an idea? Like, what was the point?
Do you guys see that shit at the fucking fire hall? They have the fucking drag queen bingo.
What?
Yeah, the fucking fire hall. Yeah, it's like
they're going after boomers now.
It's like, out of all the places I'd expect to see this was not one of them.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, 69. Oh, 69. Oh, 69. Big O.
Oh my God. I
want my dildo. I win a dildo. This is awesome.
Dude, can you imagine that's actually what they give away for prizes with Drag Queen Bingo Hour?
That's my thing too. It's like everything about like with that, a lot of those people, it's always sexual.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their entire life is super hypersexual. It's like, my God, man.
Why do they have to have horns too?
It's to go and show. It's like it's not enough that they just do their thing. It's like they have to have horns. And like, what if you were at you're at a company, you're hiring someone, and you see that demon come into work, and it's like they're applying for a job.
Yeah.
Like, my God, I'd be scared.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrifying. It is just very strange stuff. And I'm a very open-minded person, but this stuff is just next level. I'm like, look, there's one with like a fat dude with a beard, with a wig on, in a dress, reading to children, and the children are on their laps. Look at this on the screen here. Look at this.
Yeah, see, I don't want that. I really don't like that shit. You know, it's not fucking Santa Claus. You know, this person. I mean, looks like Satan.
Satan.
Got that part. Looks like fucking Satan.
It's satanic.
You
Oh
know,
god.
Alex Jones is fucking right again.
Oh my god, look at this thing. I mean, it's gotta be a mental issue. I'm sorry.
Well, people are allowing this. It's not just a few people too. It's like a good portion of people. This is apparently fucking acceptable by
Makes me
certain parents.
uncomfortable.
It should not be acceptable. Like, and then see the fucking Desmond kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, God, like that kid's gonna have some problems. And his parents enabled that.
Yeah. Never forget that the parents let this happen.
See, in my world, like the parents would be held accountable for that shit. Because you know that kid doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's just
Yeah.
probably listening to mommy and daddy, and you know, mommy probably wanted a girl, like another girl, and so it's like, oh, you know, it'd be really cool. What if my son wore a dress?
Yeah.
And then he's 18. He wants to be a transgender, and his penis, because he took hormone blockers at such a young age, is too small to retrofit into a mock vagina. So that's a problem. Because like, see, that's my thing. Like, if you want to go and like do your transgender stuff as an adult, that's one thing. But like, to have the kids do that, it's like, come on.
Mm-hmm. That's messed up.
Yeah, the kid. You can't like telling people that like it's okay for kids to get this sort of shit. Like obviously the child's brain is not even fully fucking developed yet. Like this is what I'm saying. Like if you want to do whatever you want to do, great, it's your life. But at least let the kid's brain develop
Mm-hmm.
before letting them figure out whoever the fuck they want to be. Um I mean that's the thing. I mean, and I, I think China's pushing this shit on us because like I,
They're not pushing it on themselves.
yeah, no, they're pushing
I
it
don't
on
think it's
us
China.
because
I don't
no,
think it's fucking China.
no, I think they're pushing it. They're not pushing this on them, but they're aiding this shit on us because they know it's destructive. They're master manipulators at the information game, and like,
No, I get what you're saying, because especially too, like, look how few women are in China.
mhm.
And they doing by doing this shit, they open up themselves like, oh, there's gonna be an excess of women who want husbands, and there's not be enough straight husbands, straight men to fulfill that in America. So then the
Well, I
Chi-Coms will
mean,
come
it's
in.
it's destructive. This sort of shit is destructive to a country. Like the China is winning by fucking by leaps and bounds. Because here we are as a country, we're fighting each other. Like there's we don't have our own shit in order. And on all honesty, like when China when the Biden administration was, arguing with the Chinese diplomats in Alaska this week, they were like they were like, oh, they were saying I'm sorry, the Chinese were right. They were basically saying the US is no longer uh the US is no longer negotiating from a position of strength. We aren't. We aren't. Um and we should get our own affairs in order. They're right. They're right. I mean, obvious. I'm sure that China has its fucking, has been pushing a lot of this information onto our population, but yeah, we need to get our fucking shit in order. Um, and I mean, they're right. They're right. Even though they're hypocrites, but yeah. Um, I don't think, and it was like, and I think that this state secretary might mean well, because or at least it looks like it. I mean, of course, he could be bullshitting, but which is very, very, very possible. But you know, he's talking tough to China, but like of course, the Biden team's gonna give them everything they fucking want. Like, uh, I mean, it'll basically be a bend over and spread them for the Chinese, to the Chinese. I mean, they own them. They own them. They own the Biden administration. They own the Democratic Party. Hell, they own a large chunk of the Republican Party. They own the media. They own fucking the entire entertainment industry. Um, they own. They have a gobs of leverage on our tech. Gobs of leverage on our tech. And that's pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's tough to there's no way that we're negotiating at a no fucking chance.
I agree. I agree with that. Like fucking China, man. They're they're completely screwing us over, and we're gonna.
I mean, we're screwing ourselves. I mean, really. I mean, it's like, yeah, we know what's going on in China. We know what's going on with all these other fucking. We know the kind of horrors that go on in China. What kind of dirty dealings that are going on in China. We know the mass amounts of like slave labor that's going on in China. The child sweatshops that are going on in China. The shit with the Uyghur Muslims. Like we know all of this shit. But the fucking but we let it happen. Why? Because we're fucking greedy as shit.
Oh yeah, and you speak out against China, they'll instantly say, "Oh, it's because of racism." They use that as a deflection.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they know that America
Yeah.
has race problems. Like, see, China is, they've been arguing for position of strength for a long time because unlike the U.S., their economy is so fucking planned. Like with us, every 4 to 8 years, that's a major shift in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Versus them, where they can plan out like they can have like a fucking 50-year plan. They do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem with these fucking democracies, and like honestly, it has me worried. Because how can you really fight against that when
It's
you have a fucking country that can
yeah.
plan 50 years ahead?
Well, we should be doing more. Like our government is so fucking incompetent. We could handle the situation if we did more, but instead we have Congress. Every one of them is up for sale, right? Every goddamn one of them.
Well, it's not even just that. Like all that China has to go and do is pit the U.S. parties against each other. And that's what they did this past election. They pitted us against each other. And they could go and they have so much influence, not even just with politics, but with the fucking film industry because they have such a large population.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all these. If you don't have a big movie, it's not even just U.S. sales; it's like international sales that matter more. That's why you saw like when they had I think it was Iron Man 3. They had in the original one there was a enemy called the well, I think the boss, like even in there it was like the boss or the main bad guy. He was the what was that? Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed it to a white dude. And when I saw that, I was like, this can't be right. Like, what the fuck's wrong with this? Apparently, it was to not piss off the Chinese.
Yep.
Then they did the same thing with like the film art, and they think what was it, the one movie with the moon landing? They took out the U.S. flag because it would piss off the Chinese audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's affected the video games industry too. They had this one game, and they completely changed the plot. It was like Homefront, I think. And it was supposed to be about the Chinese invading the U.S. They changed it to what was it, the North Koreans,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, dude, North Korea ain't invading shit.
No.
But I was like, oh, this is really Chinese. Okay, I could see this because they didn't want to get banned in China. Like, my God, all these fucking all these countries are just a bunch of fucking pussies. Like all these, not countries, all these fucking companies. You know, they're so afraid of the big bad Chinese government. You know, we're saying that they're afraid, so they are so greedy that they will go and sell out and like make shitty products just to go and save a couple bucks, like to, you know, appease the Chinese audience. Like they will go and kowtow to the Chinese Communist Party like no one's business.
Mm.
Yeah, it's sort of, I don't know, but yeah, no, it's scary, and I think this COVID's gonna make things worse. It's not getting any better with China after this. You know, because at least if we would have had Trump, he would have stuck with it, and like he would have remembered who the fuck created this problem. And you know, the more I see it, the more I think that this was a this was created in a lab. You know, some like monster mash shit. Some dude was working a fucking lab late one night making this fucking coronavirus, and I could see him too. You know, doing that, and like I wouldn't be surprised if they made specifically target certain demographics. You know, they have the technology to do that shit. They probably stole it from us. That's the thing with the Chinese. You know, that their whole like sort of like if you ever see these Chinese students, like you know, a lot of them are, like cheating is just so fucking common there because like that's what their government does and awards that. You know, like I've seen them over here. Like they'll be caught cheating on tests all the fucking time because the Chinese Communist government, it supports that. It supports cheating. It supports stealing because that's what they do to us on a massive scale. They steal intellectual property from U.S. companies, and they sell it back to them. It's like why do these companies even choose to work there? Because they know their shit's gonna get stolen. It's gonna be fucking remanufactured because it's China. They don't have to worry about safety regulations and all this other stuff. Like fucking iPhones and shit get made over there, and then the Chinese will just open up a shop right down, another factory right down the street from the real one. They'll make fake ones, and they'll smuggle it back into the U.S. and sell it, and they'll sell it in their own countries. You know, they do that shit all the time. It's a fucking industry over there.
Mm. Mm. I saw that speaking of Korea, I saw that the Secretary of Defense uh was talking tough about North Korea.
Well, see,
He's
North Korea, I don't even give a fuck about them to be honest. The only thing, like, see that's the other thing that China controls too. Like, the only reason it's even a thing is because China allows it to exist. If China said, "Okay, North Korea, you're done," they'd be fucking done. It's like you know what the Soviets used to do with us and like West Berlin. It was like the testicle of the West because they could just squeeze it. It would make everyone fucking cry.
like I think he was saying something like, "Oh, we would be ready to attack North Korea if need be, or something like that, like tomorrow, whatever." I'm like, that first of all, like war against North Korea would be the dumbest fucking idea ever. Not that they're some great fucking superpower or anything like that, but like the it's it's one of those things where strategically, like geographically speaking, it's in one of those really sour places in the world that makes it really next to fucking impossible to go after North Korea. And like I mean, first you got to go to the south. You got to go through the South China Sea, which I'm not sure we even control now. Like it, it looks like China is making their strong dominance of the South China Sea. So, and you would need, like, if you were going to go into North Korea, you would need control of the South China Sea, which I'm not sure we're going to get. Um, on top of that, um, like if North Korea does indeed have nuclear weapons, right?
Well, we know they do.
Uh, Seoul's fucked. The second we go, oh, we're gonna attack North Korea, Seoul's fucked. Seoul is fucked, and it's like right at the border, and it's like right close to the border too. So they could probably arm throw a nuke over to fucking Seoul and wipe that place. You're talking millions gone. They drop a nuke on Seoul, millions are gone.
Well,
Tens of millions gone.
well, here's the thing. Like, why would we even bother with them? The only reason,
No, I mean
like, it's
it's
not
it's
worth it.
it's
It's
not
not
worth
worth
it. The
fucking
juice is
with
not worth it. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Um, on top, I mean, then, and that's just like, and we're not even talking about where China or Russia are in this equation. Because if Russia or China, if Russia says, "Hey, we're gonna give North Korea S-400s," we're screwed. Like we will not have we will not be able to get air superiority in North Korea, which air superiority is how our military moves as quick as they do. So that we got it. We had air superiority in Afghanistan. We had air superiority in Iraq. That's how we maneuver. Like we maneuver through our air support and air superiority. I don't know. I don't think if they got their hands on S-400s, which is like the Russian air defense uh systems, uh the S-400s can detect stealth. So I don't think any of our planes can hide. Like the part of the stealth is that it can go undetected through most military air defense systems. The S-400 can spot them. So there's no way. There's no way. First off, you would need a carrier. You would need a carrier to go into the South China Sea. I don't know if we're going to be able to. We would be able to pull that off just because we would piss off pretty much all the neighboring countries, including China. Second, you would have to have you would have to be able to make sure that North Koreans don't get their hands on anything like an S-400, because if they get their hands on an S-400, you're not having air superiority. So then that puts North Korea in a position to do a lot to do a lot of things. Not that they would win, but they could cause a lot of damage, which would definitely piss off everybody here in this country. Like the damage would be like bad. Like it's not like and I'm trying to explain this in a way that people fucking understand, but it's not that it's not that our military can't win a war. I mean if our military is properly funded and properly trained, they can beat pretty much anybody. But the problem is how big are the losses going to be? And because of the geography and many other things, it's it's difficult. It's one of those things that the losses would be so great that it just doesn't make it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And what would you win? And the problem is like, well, what would you win like if you did that? Like there's no control. At least Iraq had oil fields, and there was, in Afghanistan there was control of the opium and the like, whatever. And like strategically it would be great, but like I with North Korea there really isn't a, a significant gain that would warrant such a strong military presence. It's not, like I said, the juice isn't really worth the squeeze.
Well, the only reason that we haven't done anything yet is because of China. That's the only reason that we haven't taken out North Korea
Yeah,
before.
because if China says you're not doing shit, I mean, we're not doing shit. I mean, ultimately, because if China's like, you're not, yeah, we got Kim's back. Like, there goes your plans, because you're not getting into the South China Sea. You're not getting into, like, yeah, and China has S-400s. Like, they buy S-400s from Russia. Um, so I mean, these are those. Look, I know I talk a lot about the S-400. They're incredible. They are incredible, and like they can spot stealth. So there goes your Fs. There goes your F series. There goes your B bombers. There goes all your stuff. All of it. They'll be able to spot anything. And I mean, I just I don't see where in that scenario we would gain anything. Like, I just, I mean, I was thinking about that one all the, like pretty much all this week. I'm like, there's no real, like, the best thing you can do is to economically starve them out if you're really trying to, like, punish them or whatever, like Donald Trump did. Like, look, you put economic sanctions on them, and you slowly, and you either financially incentivize them to behave themselves, or you just financially drown them with sanctions. But, like, you don't, like, military action is not something that is, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it over there. Like, you need a purpose. Like, there needs to be a purpose and an end goal, like an end game, like, to warrant, because it's expensive. Like, war is expensive. It's like, you're talking trillions. I mean, it's like, it would cost, even war in those defeated, already war-torn countries like Afghanistan and Iraq, that cost trillions, right? It would be way worse. It would be way worse financially for us if we went over there.
Yeah. No, no, I agree. I think maybe I hope that it was just some sort of stupid fucking bluff. I think they're trying to do some sort of like political maneuver, but it's really not working. It's really not. Like, I don't know what their foreign policy goals are, but if they keep this shit up, like, we're the laughing stock of pretty much the whole world. Like, people said that we were the laughing stock under Trump. Nah, people still fucking
Now,
fear.
people still respected and feared Trump, right? If for any reason, one, he was incredibly unpredictable. He was willing to, go where presidents in the past didn't have the balls to go. And that made people, like, pause. Um, I, I don't think Biden scares anybody. I don't think Biden really scares anybody.
Yeah, you can read his fucking mind just by looking at his teleprompter because he doesn't think of shit himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that he ain't that special.
I don't know. Uh, I mean, I think the defense secretary, Lloyd Austin, I think he's okay. I think he's an okay fit. But I don't know, because, like, I like the guy. I actually served under units ran by Lloyd Austin, and, like, seems like a decent person, very, seems intelligent, seems, but I feel like with any defense secretary, the people overhead can make or break you. Like the people up top can make or break you. and um and I like and I feel like that could definitely happen with you know with the Biden administration. But oh yeah, I looked at that. I was just looking at that, and I'm like, from a military strategic perspective, I was not. I was kind of scratching my head because I mean, it's just not like because we've already spent so much on two wars that are really like they really weren't worth it. Like they really weren't worth it. Now if you trying to threaten North Korea, first off, North Korea, they don't care. They don't care. Like they even they don't. They're not. They're like they're willing to die. Like they're okay to die. Like I just like they have the kind of mentality that's like, yeah, fuck them, fuck you. Like whatever. We don't care if you kill us. Like you can't. I don't know. You can't really. I think they know, like they know, they're knowledgeable of the position that they're in. Like, and I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, and like I said, if China, even if China was okay with it, if Russia was like, yeah, yeah, we'll be giving them S-400s. I'm like, like the U.S. is screwed. Like, it's not like it, it's not like it's just a pain in the ass. It's just all around. It's just a pain in the ass, and that's not like, look, I'm for war under the right circumstances. I'm for war if there's an end goal, like if there's a legit end goal. Like, okay, all right. Like if they like in Iraq, if they told us, okay, we're taking the oil and oil is going to be like 50 cents a gallon from here on out, I'd be like, all right, cool, let's do it. Like, but like, there's not. I mean, but it's not like you got to have like if you're gonna throw people in to like risk their fucking lives and shit, like, and then spend a whole bunch of fucking money to do it, like you there needs to be something. There needs to be some benefit. So I don't know, whatever. What the fuck do I know? I'm just an old geezer with a you know with a temper. I don't know.
No, I get you. I get you.
I mean, I do. I respect the defense secretary a lot. I do have a level of respect. I mean, and I know Tucker Carlson went into the mill, and I was not particularly a fan of that. By the way, I was not a fan of Tucker Carlson's thing when he went after the military, basically.
Well, okay. Well,
Because I
here's
get what he
my
was saying.
question.
I would get what he was saying. I get what he was saying, but you got to be careful when you go after the military, because that is you will lose. That is not a winning battle. Like, that is not a winning battle. But go ahead, say what you're going to say.
All right. Now, okay. So, what was he talking? Was it about the women in the
Yeah,
military?
so yeah, that was exactly what it was. So
Why do we need that? Why do we need maternity suits for anyone in the fucking military?
look, I mean, I think that was a bit. I agree that was a bit over the top, like doing um, the whole press conference to promote female generals or whatever, and like, and I'm like, look, yeah, look, if you want to treat people as equals, you do the same shit. You do the same damn thing. You promote any general just as you would any other general, right? That's because it's like I just, to me, it's like, because whenever any general gets promoted, it's a big fucking deal, right? In the military, as far as the military goes, when you promote a general, it's a big damn deal, right? There's ceremonies. There's lots of troops. There's march. They march, and it's very in the military world. That is a huge deal. Um, for anybody, male or female, whatever. Um, so I mean, I'm not a fan that they just kind of put it out there in the you know in the press conference. But then again, I'm like, whatever. Like, look, the government's been fucking using the military for political props for fucking decades. I'm not. I'm like, it's not the end of the world. But like, and of course they're like, oh, they were talking about, female, uh, you know, paternity suits for like, troops or jumpsuits or whatever like that. I'm like, look, hey, and I'm not like, would I personally prefer that? No, but do I mind it? Nah, not really. Like, do we need it? No, but hey, if a woman wants to jump out of a plane or fly an aircraft and she's pregnant or whatever, I don't give a fuck. Like,
I
whatever. If she
don't know
can do the job, I'm like, I don't give a shit.
I don't know
But
if that's a smart idea though. Like,
I'm not saying
I don't like that though. Like, I really, if you're pregnant and like, why do you need to be flying a plane?
I don't.
Like,
I
you
mean,
know,
yeah. Would I? Is it my personal preference? No, but I mean, I don't. Look, she could look fucking.
it's not.
If
You
she
know,
could do her job, I don't give a
women
shit.
flip out over eating red 40 dye in a fucking Mike and Ike. You think that having like flying an aircraft going above that, whatever elevation it is for extended periods, potentially having, high lows of G forces.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, and on most cases, in fact, almost all of them, I agree with you. But I'm like, look, hey, if this woman wants to fucking do it and she's pregnant, I don't know.
That's not just a woman at that point. You
I
have
don't
to
know.
be
Yeah,
a kid. Like,
I
I don't.
mean,
I prefer that. Like that. If they are to the point where they are showing, to where they could not one. I thought in the military, like you had, if you were over a certain waist size, you would be put on like some sort of, you weren't able to go and do your shit right. Like you could get
yeah,
severely penalized.
yeah. Like, well, that you do. In most cases, you'll have like pregnancy physical training where you it's a different physical regiment
All
that
right. See, I
normal
don't like
troops
that.
in.
If you want them to be in there, they should be doing the exact same shit,
Yeah,
or they should be out until they give
I
birth.
mean, I, I mean, having something like that, I'm not. I mean, terribly. I'm not terribly against, as long as as long as they have a plan. Like, and that's one thing. Like, look, if you have a plan, like that's my thing. If because I know I've worked with troops that were, female troops that were pregnant and had kids, and while they were in the military. As long as you have a plan, and that's the ultimate. That's the ultimate thing. Like, do you have a legitimate plan to take care of this child while you were in the military? And then if you are, and if so, then whatever, do what you do.
No, like here's my thing. I don't have a problem with them having a child while they're in the military, but I don't think that they should be doing, you know, physical work while they are pregnant. I think they should have, like, they should get whatever leave they have until they give birth. Like once it starts getting to the point where they would fail the physical based on the based on the waist size.
Yeah, I would.
Because if you can't do your duty, that. But if a guy was fat, he'd be penalized for that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Well,
don't like that. I
yeah,
I don't want to go make exceptions for people. If you
yeah,
want to come in the military, I feel like there should be a standard. And if you cannot meet that standard, then that was the whole thing.
yeah. I look, and and like, you have certain. Well, I mean, you have certain troops, like, some of the ones that I've worked with. They were excellent physically and all that stuff, and then they had they got pregnant, they had their child, they went through the whole process, and then they had to have some time to, you know physically, readjust to the military standards or whatever, and they were able to do it and do it well. I'm not like again, I'm not against it. Like I'm not. I would I rather have you know would I prefer it? No, but I'm not against it really either. I'm just like whatever. What if it if it's at least if it's well thought. I'm one of I'm one of those people, like if it's well thought, if a plan is well thought, okay. I don't like people doing shit for political reasons, but like I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking while they were making those decisions, but whatever. Um wait, where was I going? Was I going anywhere with that conversation? I don't know. I was just like I'm
Sidetrack.
just yeah, we got sidetracked quick. But yeah, I don't think I don't know. I feel like but yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, getting back to so Tucker Carlson went on this thing basically saying, well, women shouldn't be. Well, he was kind of saying something to the tune. He was saying something the same way, but I think the way in which he said it was more attacking in nature, I guess. I'd have to see the thing again, but like it was not. I mean, you could tell like he's a jerk, like he's a fucking mainstream media journalist, okay? You could tell he was aiming to get a reaction. And so yeah, there were some military officials that did, and that went against it, and I don't know. I was like, you got to be careful. Like you got to be careful not to go after the military because that's a very unpopular move. Like going after the military, like even if you're like anti-war, like don't go after the troops, right? Even if you disagree with the war, don't go after the troops because that's like the most one of the most unpopular things you could do as a politician. Like that's pretty much political suicide. Um, because you know, they give their lives they give their lives to this country. They put their lives on the line, and you know, I it rubbed me it rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, look, okay, because I mean, I don't know. I'm all for I'm like as long as and I know that there are military people that even if it was even if the whole thing was political, there's definitely people in the military that would have been like, yeah, if there was a problem, they would have voiced it. Like, but I mean, and it's not like it's and some of these people they do think before they act. Like they plan like they're not they don't they mean what I don't want to say mean well, but like they at least give thought into before making a decision like that. Like making decisions like that doesn't come willy-nilly for the military. And I know that because I was around them for most of my life. So I mean, I don't know. It's just it's one of those things like dude, and not only that, like dude, like you're on a what's perceived to be a Republican news station, and you're going after like you're in an attack mode on members of the military. I'm like, I don't. It's not a good look for you. It's not a good look for Republicans. Not that I'm saying he's like I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Calling Tucker Carlson a Republican is a bit of a stretch.
I don't know. I just I
It
think that
is.
I don't think that the
You can make an
military.
argument. It's fair.
I
Look,
don't
this is
think that
something.
anything is completely forbidden from criticism. And I think that there are definitely some things that should like
Yeah,
we
no,
military should be criticized.
legitimate criticisms. There are legitimate criticisms. You are correct, but
You-
don't. But you gotta be absolutely like you have to keep in mind absolute respect in your criticisms.
Well,
Like
how much?
don't ever go after them. Like we go after some leftists or some activists. Don't ever attack them military people in the same light as some of these reporters do with activists on either side or whatever. It's like, no, you cut. It's fine to criticize the military, but do it respectfully. Like, you do it with the utmost respect, because these people deserve the utmost respect,
What about like when
so.
Trump criticized the or changed the policy of transgenders in the military and criticized that? Is that was that okay when he did that?
Well, he did it. Well, I think he did it. I mean, some of his criticisms were not of my liking either. But I mean, not that. I mean, but I think for him, it was just like, when he said that, it wasn't really like he when he said the transgender ban, he tweeted that he had talked with some of his generals, and his generals um agreed or whatever. And I think the word was, it was like he generals agreed with him that this transgender ban you know was appropriate. Some along the lines of, you and I mean, you can make an argument, like, you can absolutely make an argument that about the transgender ban, just in the medical maintenance part of it. But yeah, I don't think his criticism of it was as bad. Like, and keep it, like, he did quite a bit for the military. He did quite a bit for the military. So it's not like, um I don't know. Like, I just, like, I think for, like, a Republican journalist, like, that was just not, like, or a perceived Republican journalist, like, that was not a good look. It just wasn't a good look.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess you were in the military, so I mean, you probably have different opinions on that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I understand both sides of the I understand the argument. I wasn't a fan of the delivery of the argument. And it's not it's like, if these arguments were aimed at anybody else, I'd be a little bit more sympathetic. But I don't like when criticism is done to the members of the military, and it's not done in the most respectful manners. Like, I just like, because, yeah, they should get to, I mean, and I mean, there's definitely there's definitely um there is criticisms. There's a lot of criticisms that are appropriate to bring up. But I'm saying, you know there's a way to do it, and there's a way not to do it. And I'm not sure Tucker Carlson really was the best at his delivery. But I mean, that's what he was doing. It felt, when I was listening to Tucker Carlson make that argument, I felt it was like, he was it was meant to provide shock value. It felt very MSNBC like, where, how journalists, they bring stuff up to try to garner like for a sensationalized reaction. Like, that's what it felt like.
yeah, no, I mean,
And they attacked General Austin, or the Secretary Austin, for his, he was an executive of Raytheon, and That might have been like
Oh, see, that's that military industrial complex, and that
right.
I don't
But I
like.
mean, yeah, I and yeah, there's a fair criticism for that too. But like, I mean, like at that stage, look, once you get to that stage of the military career or whatever, you're like it's happened. It's common practice. Like you're working with, a lot. Like I mean, because you're working, you're naturally going to find work in in a lot of these military corporate like these military tech corporations, just because you already have firsthand knowledge of the material. You have like, there's just like a natural understanding that nobody else has. So like, I I mean, I get it. I get it. It from the onset, it looks like if I'm a normal civilian, it looks kind of slimy, but I mean, I don't know. Like being in that environment, it makes sense. Like for me, it makes sense, but I mean but again, it's like I don't know. I just yeah, it's I wish we had I wish I ultimately wish, Alex, that more people had conversations like we have. Where it's not where it's like you even if you disagree with something, you look at the grand scheme, like you look at the context, the total context of a particular argument, and you go, you know, and you talk about the complexity of the particular argument before making whatever judgments you want to make. Like, and this is one of the reasons why I love doing this show, because like it's one of those things, like we talk about it and we have these complex conversations, and it's like there's not enough of them. There's not enough of them out there. Because you look at mainstream media, it's like, oh, like it's like highly opinionated garbage, and like and it's okay to be opinionated. You just have to be able to like if you're going to form an opinion and you're not backing it up with thought or data or science or some sort of, you know, rational thought, it makes you look really, really fucking stupid. And like this is one of the reasons why I'm glad I'm doing this show with intelligent people, and like, we can have these conversations, and we can have, you know, we can come up with even better opinions, because there's like, yeah, I mean, I know I don't know everything, but like I'm supposed to not know everything. Like that, like look, I mean, life would be pretty fucking boring if I just knew everything. Like I don't know. But I mean, like I wish we had more people, not only in media but in government, that gave a shit about like the actual complexity of certain shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Ooh.
There's not, there's just certain things. Certain things that I'm like that I think of. I'm like, look, I did like if I'm like most people have, and this is like this is another thing too that really fucking grinds my gears. Just the 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 cancel culture. Like with cancel culture, obviously we're against cancel culture, but like, you got people on the right that fucking do it too. Like you do. You have people on the right that fucking do it. Like we saw like Milo Yiannopoulos that was getting boot like suspended on Parlor or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Like what I thought you were running on like Parlor was I thought they were running on, being pro free speech, and then they're fucking suspending people for suspending uh people for violating fucking speech. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, good. I hope Parlor never recovers ever,
I don't know.
ever.
You see what's been going down with like Gab though too. Like, didn't they get hacked or some shit like that, and like
Mm,
fucking data leaks?
there's gonna be doubt. Yeah, I mean, really, you like. By the way, PSA. If you're gonna go on Gab, I love Gab, but you're going on go on Gab with the notion like don't put like to know that the possibility you could get hacked. But I mean, really, in all honesty, with all tech, every piece of tech you have, know that there's a possibility that you could be hacked. Like, you just make your decisions with the fucking chance that you could be hacked. When you put your credit card number in anything, know that it could potentially be hacked, right? Like, make your decisions with the idea, like, knowing that you could get hacked. Just saying, like, yeah. And so, yeah, with Gab, of course, Gab's probably going to get hacked. They got hacked before, they'll probably get hacked again. It's possible, right? So you have to do that. You have to accept that into your decision making process, right?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I don't know. Like, didn't they do something too, where they were like claiming they weren't hacked, and then they actually were like that? That's the thing that
I
kind of.
mean, well, look, well, I mean, sometimes you'll look at that. Sometimes some of these hackers are really fucking good at their job, right? And sometimes you may not even. Sometimes some of these people don't even realize that they're fucking hacked until it's like until shit's hitting the fan, right? And then and even like I don't know. I mean, it could be a number that I don't know. I don't know enough about that particular instance, but like uh it could be like it literally could be anything. Like, it could be bullshit, right? It could be that the people that run Gab could have been bullshitting us, but like there could be that these hackers were probably really good at their fucking job, and like, all of that's a possibility. So I don't know. I just like, but I'm like anything, like if you're trying to send a dick pic to a fucking chick, no, the fucking dick pic could probably get hacked, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, like, look, how many, like, or when a chick sends her titty pics, right? Them titty pics could probably get hacked, right? We've seen it. We've seen it. We've seen what was
The
there's
leak.
the one,
Yeah, that leaks the fappening or
the
whatever.
fappening, yeah, the fappening, yeah. Like, you gotta be smarter. You just gotta be
Some of these companies, they need to go and take security seriously. Like, man, I can tell you some stories. But,
yeah. I mean, well, yeah, but I mean that too. I mean,
like, what was it? That solar ones. Like half the time you see this shit, it's because of like they have one idiot. Like solar ones, they had like a password as SolarWinds 123.
mm,
It's
yeah,
shit like that.
yeah,
And it creates a whole supply
yeah,
chain issue.
yeah,
And it goes down the line. Like people need to start giving a shit about security. Like
yeah.
especially these big companies and even the small ones too, like fucking Gab.
Yeah,
No,
and that's but that's a but this is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, and I agree with you too. I'm saying obviously some of these people need to do a better fucking job at their job, right? Some of these security people need to do a better job. Some of these corporations need to do a better job with their whole security things, their security apparatuses. Totally agree with that. But that doesn't shield moi from making better personal decisions, right? Maybe like, maybe you shouldn't be sending pics of your titties to your fucking boyfriend, or because maybe you shouldn't be sending them out on these dick pics out on fucking TikTok or some shit or whatever, or fucking Snapchat or whatever. See, that tells you how much I know about TikTok. Um, yeah, don't send your dick pic out of the fucking TikTok or whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm fucking I've never used TikTok and have no plan to do so. But I mean, you know, Yeah, you got to make, you if you're using anything tech, just know that at any point that shit could get hacked. All right, just know that. All right. Um, that's what I did. Look, I keep an eye on my look. I every day I keep an eye on my finances. I keep an eye on my credit cards. I keep an eye on, you know, just in case shit hits the fan. Hey, and I mean I have a good little bank that I use too. So they've been pretty cool with that sort of thing, and they give me they'll give me alerts if there was a time where my fucking shit was hacked, right? Where my credit cards were hacked, and they fucking my bank let me know, hey, did you make these crazy charges? Like, nope, I did not, and that was cool too. But I mean, you get this is and this is the problem with society. People need to have more personal responsibility in their fucking lives. I mean, it's like we have so many stupid people. No wonder China is laughing. Like, look, all you got to do is turn on the fucking television in the United States and realize we're probably one of the dumbest fucking countries in the world. Like, yeah, I'm looking. I turn on the television. I see some of these commercials. I'm like, yep. China's gonna own us in like 20 years. Like, yo, this is why right here. This bullshit is exactly why. Then I'll see you know, I'll watch some. I'll be passing the channels on it like on MTV or something like that. Like, just even passing, I'm like, oh, nope, yep, these guys are idiots. Yep. I just I and we're fucked up. Look. Educationally speaking, we are fucked up. Like, you have like in China and in India and others, the Russia and these other countries. Like, these kids want to be astronauts. They want to be engineers. They want to be doctors. They want to be there's really high level shit that they want to be, right? Here in the fucking United States, they want to be like a YouTube personality. Like, they want to be like a rapper or a comedian or fucking an actor or something like that. They want to be a professional athlete. Like, we're all fucked up. We're fucked up. We are fucked up when it comes to like the world. And yeah, I'm just waiting. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
waiting. I'm waiting for them to force it. I'm waiting for whoever fucking takes this thing over to fucking put people in camps and make them forced to learn Chinese or Russian or whatever the fuck. Because we're just there. I have zero. I mm, I have almost no faith in American humanity. I don't. There's too much stupid shit that goes on in this country on a daily basis. It's like, I don't know. You fuckers are stupid.
I get you, but yeah, no. Anyways, man, what time is it? Is I guess Sean's off doing his shit.
Yeah, he's the one running this thing now, so it's like you might want to get back on here to, you know, because we just get off, it's just gonna be like a silence, and I'd feel pretty weird talking by myself to the Twitterverse for a
Yeah,
long fucking time. But I mean, no, if you got to go, then I get it. But like, you know, I'm just saying.
yeah, man. I gotta do some. I
Okay,
gotta do some stuff. I gotta wake up early in the morning. I've been
okay,
helping my grandfather build some. What was that shit? It was what was that thing in the garage with the fucking those wall things
yeah,
in the ceiling? You put that shit up there to prevent fires. I
yeah.
forget of it. The drywall, that's what it was. We've been doing that for the past 2 days, man. Like they made this tool for it. It makes it so fucking easy, but like it's still such a pain in the ass. Like I can't imagine doing it without that fucking tool, like manually shoving that shit up there. And then God, but this thing's a lifesaver. Like holy shit, you. It's this like weird like jack thing, and you like it's got like a crank. It looks like a fucking like steering wheel thing, but you put it on there so you don't have to like physically hold it up there. It's crazy some of the stuff they got these days.
Yeah.
It's like a giant jack. Like man, yeah, I hit my head on that shit today. That hurt like a bitch. But
Yikes.
like,
You gotta be careful with that shit.
oh yeah, no, yeah, big old hit that head, nice and painful. But yeah, no, yeah, that's where I was all day. You do anything interesting lately?
Nah, I was sick for a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if it because I got the second shot with the vaccine. So the part of me was wondering, oh, was it like the side effects from that or whatever? I don't know. I mean, I got better, whatever, but yeah, that was part of my. Oh my god, am I gonna die or something? Like, no, like, dude, it's not how I want to go. If I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out, you know, with a bang. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
That's
that's the
yeah,
thing. Like I think my grandma, she just got that. Like she had some issues with the first one. It's usually the second one.
yeah,
What I was hearing, like, that gives people problems. But here's
yeah.
my thing. Like I don't know. Like I just don't see what the fuck the point is of me even taking this vaccine if I still have to wear a fucking mask everywhere. Like that's my thing. Like I'm pretty sure I already had that virus once, you know. And then like if I still have to wear a fucking mask, why would I want to get this vaccine?
Uh, yeah. I mean, that's a point. That is
Like,
a
see,
valid point.
if they would be like, oh, you have to, if you don't get this vaccine, then you have to wear a mask. Like, I might get the vaccine, but like, man, if I still have to wear, like, I don't know, man. These masks just piss me off. Like, just having
Yeah,
to do that everywhere, man. It's so fucking destructive. Like, just feels terrible. Like I remember I went to Ohio once back before they had that mask mandate, and just walked into Walmart. I was like, fuck. It's almost worth it just to drive like half an hour to get to fucking Ohio just so I could breathe in the fucking store and see people's faces. Like holy shit! Like it's been a year now, man. It's so ingrained in people's like psyche. It's like, oh, you need to go and wear a mask. It's I don't like it. I really don't. I never liked it from the beginning, and now it's just dragging on, and it's not even just. And they keep trying to go and say, "Oh, you need to go and wear two masks now." Like, dude, fuck off. You were saying that even these shitty ass like cloth masks are good. Like, no, they're not.
mm-mm.
We all know
No,
those cloth masks. They're maybe a little bit effective, kind of, but probably not because you probably ain't even wearing them right. And then, like the surgical masks, I think they're like the bare minimum. You know, like if you're wearing a fucking cloth mask, it's really just virtue signaling. It's just doing whatever is required. But they're the only ones that are breathable. Like I actually saw on fucking Facebook, there's a company that was selling fake masks, and they were advertising on Facebook, and I'm like, I was seriously considering buying one just because I'm so tired of this shit.
mm-hmm.
Like they have a bunch of fucking holes in it, but it's like a small hole so you can still fucking breathe, but it looks
Yeah,
like a real mask. It's like fakemask.com or some shit like that.
yeah. It
Why?
counts. It counts. Damn it.
I mean, that's all that I fucking care about now. It's like, so many people already got the fucking vaccine, and that's the other thing too. Like, I know I already pretty like there's like a 90% chance I already had the virus. And I don't think if the vaccine, we have the vaccines now, like I'd honestly wait for someone else, who actually like might be higher risk before I fucking take that. Like that's the other thing too. Like either give it to everyone else or make it so that it's inconvenient to not have the vaccine, and I would take it. Because I just don't see the point of it. Because like I've seen relatives, and people complaining about the side effects of this fucking vaccine. I already got I usually don't even get the fucking flu vaccine. I got it this year because, I had one of those stupid health savings accounts. God, I hate those. I hate that stupid concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this high ass deductible, and I was like, oh well, see, you can go and put your money in there. It's tax deductible. Like, yeah, sure, but it's a pain in the ass. I said to
Mm-hmm.
spend money on this and rather just have a fucking health insurance that wasn't this high deductible bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I remember my dad was in. I think he was in this like union job once, and like I don't think we paid anything for healthcare when we had that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was the fucking life. You know, but they don't make that no more. You know, very few places will give you that sort of shit. Like unless you work for like Google or something. If you're working for Google, you could see if you're working for Google, you could afford one of those like health savings accounts because you have enough money, or you just dump it in that fucking HSA. You know, that's the life. Working at one of them FANG companies. Man, those people, like, if you ever go and see people who have it like way too fucking good, download that like Blind app and just go and like look on there because you'll see some people like there's a bunch of like tech workers from like Facebook, Google, and Amazon, and like you'll see what the fuck what they're concerned about. Like half of them are Indian too, so it's pretty interesting. 'Cause they have it's a different sort of culture, like in the U.S. ones. But it's surprising how many conservatives are on that website. On that app, like with conservative campaigns, you'd think like being in a bunch of these like these people are making like probably 200K plus a year, working mostly in like Silicon Valley or like Washington State, like Oregon, shit like that. These like Facebook, Starbucks, Amazon, Google, Netflix, and all this other shit. And like, it makes me happy there's still a decent bit of conservatives on there, but you know, you also see a bunch of stupid fucking liberals on there and being like, oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
but that's to be expected. Like it's just such a different lifestyle to deal with that shit. Like they're sort of they'll go and like buy a new car every year, and like it's not just like some shitty car. They'll like talk about like Porsches and all this other stuff, and they have like multi-million-dollar house, and it's like oh it's okay. And they'll like bitch about like only getting paid $200,000 a year. Like that's the thing. It's like, oh, I can't believe this job. I'm only making $200,000 a year. If I was at Facebook, I could be making double that. I'm like, fuck. Like it really makes you think. Like, fuck, man. What am I doing with my life? I'm not even making six figures. Like, fuck. There's people like fucking retired at like 35. They already made like $5 million at that point.
Mm.
God, it'd be nice.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to be one of those people.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, but on the other hand, though, like they have commutes that take like 3 hours. It's like insane. Like I couldn't like at least now though, like they were doing a lot more that home stuff. I've been looking on that job market. I've seen what they've been doing. It's growing. Like there's more jobs now that allow work from home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's uh it's interesting, but like I don't know. It's like give or take because you're giving up. You're allowing freedom, but you're giving up control. So there's like that I don't know. There's that spectrum that you're kind of like pushing toward. It's like, yeah, you're letting people work from home or whatever, and then there's like, but you, I don't know. There's just like a, I don't know. There's like a control factor with an office setting that like you can have a little bit more of control of what goes on, in
Oh,
your
geez.
workplace. From a managing perspective, I imagine it's pretty difficult.
Like,
Like something like that would be pretty difficult.
here's my like I imagine too, like especially for like an insider threat perspective, because I've worked in that field before.
Yeah.
Like I saw that shit, and that was before COVID. Like I can only imagine now how much shit people were able to get away with. Because like if you're in the office and you see someone taking a picture of their fucking computer screen, like you'll know, hey, this is bad. But if you're at home and you wouldn't even know if someone's like having a fucking video camera on their computer screen. You wouldn't even know that.
Mm.
Like, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg. Like, you could literally, these people could be working somewhere else. We're going to some other guy's house and like having them do their work for them. Because I've heard stories of that. Like, there's, a lot of these certain people, they'll go and pay other people to go and like do their work for them. Like, it's the most insane shit. Like it's almost comical if not like a major fucking issue. Like I've heard horror stories in some companies where they'll have these like contractors and shit. They won't even know how to do their job, so they'll go and like find someone in China and they'll get like fucking like TeamViewer or some shit like that, and they'll let them take control of their computer screens, and they literally like subcontract their fucking job. And they'll pay someone like in China like you know five or like $10 an hour or something, and they're getting paid like $40 an hour.
Mm.
And then they might have like multiple of these jobs at the same time, especially if it's like completely remote.
Yeah. Um. I don't. I think. I wonder. I wonder what it's gonna. I wonder if this is gonna be like a like an. I always keep thinking if it's like, well, what's the future gonna look like? If this is where we're headed, like, what the fuck is the future gonna look like? And I mean, obvious. I don't know. I'm kind of a cynical fucker. Like I'm like, well, we're probably gonna be going to hell anyway. But um, like if in a perfect world for them, like what, uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Just,
now here's my thing too with all that stuff with the work from home. Like I think what we're gonna see is you're gonna see a lot more jobs offer. You might only go in the office a couple of days a week, like maybe 1 or 2 days, and I think that's probably how much it really needs to be. Because unless you're like having meetings or something with somebody, like what the fuck's the point anyways? If like unless you're working like a blue collar or something. If you're working a tech job, if you're doing like some business analyst shit, why do you really need to be like in the office? You know?
yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, no, I get that, but I'm like, well, where, like, how is this gonna work? I mean, like you're still gonna need. I don't know. I feel like you're still gonna need. Um. Like if yeah, I feel like you're still gonna need the office setting in a lot of employment, like, from an employment perspective in a lot of areas. Um, but I don't know.
Well, I think
I
in
don't
some
know.
ways that was good because I know, like in a lot of places, it's these old, like these old guys who would be like running these companies, and they were old school ways of thinking, and they thought if you weren't in the office, you weren't working. And now it's like, oh
Mhm.
well, you guys are doing just as much, if not more, than what you were doing without The Office for some
Yeah.
people, but other people, they need The Office. Like I don't know, like I feel like there's different people. And I do miss being able to physically talk to people because I think certain companies might do this better. But I know like where I'm at, like there's some days where you go without talking to anybody. You
Yeah.
know, I always used to talk to somebody. Now it's like doesn't always happen, and I miss that. You know,
Yeah.
and there's like a human aspect because like especially if you don't talk to, like so at least I'm happy I have my girlfriend I live with, but like if I didn't, there might be days where I just don't talk to people, and it's like the fuck.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that. Like that would like that'd be terrible on people's mental health. You know.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, do you guys want to close out for tonight?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
probably.
I think we're headed there.
Yeah,
I mean, we had some good conversation, but yeah, I think this is, it's reached its climax
yeah.
for this week.
We don't need a 4 hour stream every week.
No,
2.5.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
that's perfect.
All right. Well,
All right.
thank you everybody for tuning in. I'm doing 2 conferences at once. So this is gonna be a fun closer. But we'll see you guys next time. Like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and keep us in your feed so you can hear more great episodes like this. And Metal for Life, I'm gonna ban you from our channel. So thank you guys. Have a nice night, and we'll see you later.
Later, Gators.
See ya. I don't think she said anything, did